Hi, I'm Holly Mitchell. I'm a dental speaker, consultant, and coach, and I'm the CEO of Central Park West Dentistry. And today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 languages of appreciation in the workplace. So a lot of people think they appreciate their team, but their team doesn't feel appreciated. Why does that happen? So we're going to talk about that today. The objective is to recognize that everybody has a different style, a different language of what appreciation means to them. Stephen Covey talks about an emotional bank account. And when you're in relationships with people, whether personal or professional, you're either making deposits or you're making withdrawals in those bank accounts. So the languages of appreciation is going to help you create awareness for yourself on what your primary style is and to be able to recognize other styles and other people. So you can make deposits that actually read in their language. So 51% of managers believe they do a good job of appreciating their team, but only 17% of people feel super appreciated by their managers. And this is what leads to turnover, which is the most costly thing in a practice. It can cost up to 1.5 times someone's annual salary if they leave you. Stephen Covey said that next to physical survival, the greatest need of a human being is psychological survival, to be understood, to be affirmed, to be validated, and to be appreciated. So what do you think the number one reason people leave their jobs is? Underappreciation. So we're going to talk about the 5 languages: words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and gifts, and how we can use these languages to make our team feel more appreciated, which will lead to more engagement and higher retention, and ultimately more profitability. So the first one we're going to talk about is words of affirmation or appreciation. People have a deep desire to be acknowledged, and some of them need to be acknowledged with words. Do they prefer public, written, or private praise? This is really important. So when we talk about giving compliments, we're going to talk about 3 different levels of compliments. A level 1 compliment is, "Thanks for that." You're thanking the person, and it feels a little bit courteous. It feels a little bit transactional, maybe not so genuine. It's polite, but it doesn't necessarily feel like appreciation. A level 2 compliment would be more specific. "Thanks for staying late to help me see that patient." So it's still not the highest level of compliment because you're praising the act rather than the person who did the act. So if you really want to up your compliment game, you want to do a level 3 compliment. And this praises the qualities that that person has and who they are as a person. So if somebody stays late to help you see a patient and you want to show appreciation, you're going to say something like this: "I really appreciated that you stayed late with me to see that patient. You're always so reliable, and we're really, really lucky to have you." Because you've called them reliable, you've named a quality of who they are as a person, and those kind of compliments, people can live off of those compliments for 6 months or a year. If you tell them who they are, call people generous, call people loyal, call people trustworthy, tell people who they are, see them in a positive light, and they will want to live up to that reputation. It's really, really powerful. So praise the character or personality trait behind the act, not just the act itself. And when somebody gives you a compliment, you want to be able to receive it well. Sometimes we're socially awkward when it comes to receiving compliments. We feel a little bit weird, like we want to say, "Oh, it was nothing," or we want to dismiss it. Or even, "Do I have to say something positive back to you?" Receive a compliment as if you were receiving a beautifully wrapped gift. Someone went out, they thought about how to buy the perfect gift for you, they wrapped it up in this beautiful paper, and they give it to you and you're like, "Oh, thanks." Are they really going to be inclined to want to buy you another gift again in the future? The same thing happens with compliments when we dismiss them or we don't receive them well. So if somebody takes the effort to show you appreciation, to make a deposit in your bank account, you want to receive that compliment really well. You want to look them in the eye and say, "I really appreciate that. Thanks for noticing. Thank you." And let it go. And then remember to bring it back on them. Catch people doing things right. When you're thinking about languages of appreciation, the opposite can also destroy the relationship. So if you're dealing with somebody who's a words of affirmation person, sometimes criticism can be really damaging to them, or if they feel like people are saying things about them behind their back. And it can really, really damage their ability to trust the organization, to trust you as a manager. So it's important to recognize that you want to be making more positive deposits in that bank account than you are making withdrawals when it comes to constructive feedback. So the next language of appreciation is quality time. I'm a quality time person. So if I'm out to dinner with a friend and they've got their cell phone out and they're texting during the dinner, this is the thing that annoys me more than anything, because proximity does not equal quality time. Just because we're in the same place together, I want to be, eye contact, talking back and forth, connecting and sharing. That's true quality time. So social interaction is really good for quality time people, but the biggest deposits you can make are one-on-one conversations or small groups. So how often do you have one-on-ones with your team? Do you sit down? Do you ask them about their personal and professional lives, what's going well, what their goals are, and how you can help support them in those goals? This is a really powerful deposit for a quality time person. They have this deep desire to be understood and heard and listened to. So resist the urge to multitask when you're having conversations with people. If somebody walks into your office and you're on your laptop, close the laptop, or pull yourself away from the computer and look them in the eye and say, what can I do for you? Be there with them. That's the biggest thing you can give to them, is your time and your attention. And the opposite can destroy the relationship too. So make sure that when they're talking, that you're really listening instead of interrupting or assuming you know what they're going to say, and really spend that time one-on-one, not just in group activities. So the next language of appreciation is acts of service. This is really, really common for people who go to work in healthcare. They are acts of service people. They chose a service career. So teamwork and support are really, really important to them. They enjoy giving back to the community, so maybe creating opportunities for your team to do that with each other, so that they can get that language satisfied. The interesting thing about acts of service people is they usually don't ask for help, because they're usually in a giving mode versus a receiving help mode. But if you want to really make a deposit in their bank account, you want to do it without them having to ask. Usually, if you ask, they'll be like, oh no, I've got it. So go ahead and do something that you know they need without offering or asking in the first place. That's the best kind of service. Just jump in. And the opposite can destroy the relationship too. So if you leave at the end of the day and there's still things to do, the lab looks like a mess, teamwork service people are going to feel like it was a betrayal of trust, that you bailed on them and that you didn't jump in to help. So the next language of appreciation we're going to talk about is tangible gifts. The right gift makes all the difference to gift people. My mom is a gifts person, and in 1989, she got a Christmas gift from my father. It was an ab master. She was so mad. Every Christmas, when she opens a present now, she asks, is it an ab master? She can't get over it, because the wrong gift can really make a person feel like you don't know them or you don't see them. So money doesn't really go for these people, or gift cards. They want you to think about who they are and what they really like, and to purchase a gift that aligns with their values and their interests. So maybe start a spreadsheet in your office of people's hobbies or favorite things to eat. And then when you want to appreciate somebody, you have that list at your fingertips that you can go ahead and get them the right gift. So imagine you got them a gift card to Starbucks, but they don't drink coffee. How would that feel to a gifts person? They would feel invisible. It would absolutely do the opposite. So the right gift for the right person that's customized to their preferences is really meaningful. The last language of appreciation is physical touch. And we're talking about it in the context of work. We want to be very professional when it comes to this, but recognize that physical touch creates a dopamine response. You can see this on football teams or on basketball court. People giving each other some kind of physical acknowledgement of a job well done. So when you're thinking about physical touch, you want to make sure that you get clarity on what that person is comfortable with, what's appropriate to them. Often if you say, hey, do you want a fist bump, high five, elbow bump, what's good for you? Don't just assume that because they're a physical touch person that you're going to go in for the hug. So get clarity with your team members on what they're comfortable with and meet them where they are. So I want to close by talking about the difference between recognition and appreciation. So just because you pay somebody well and you say thank you doesn't necessarily mean they feel appreciated. Did you really deposit according to their language? Recognition focuses more on the what they're doing. These are things like bonus plans. These are temporary and transactional. They don't necessarily create that sense of engagement and appreciation and long-term loyalty in your employees. But appreciation focuses on the who. Recognition is the what they're doing. Appreciation is the who they are that inspires their hard work. That's really what's sustainable and meaningful to people. Reward what qualities you want to see so you can reinforce that behavior and do it in line with their language of appreciation. And if for some reason in your personal life you're not necessarily getting the type of appreciation that you like, so if you find that you're a gifts person and people are forgetting you on your birthday for some reason, it's a good thing to start a dialogue about this. But timing is everything, okay? So if you get the wrong gift, it's not necessarily a good time to talk about the right type of gift, because then you're sort of rejecting that appreciation, right? At a separate time, you can talk about, hey, I learned about these 5 languages of appreciation. I recognize that I'm a gifts person. I really like when people find thoughtful gifts for me. And can we talk a little bit about that? And I'd be curious to see what you think yours is. So you can have a dialogue and better, show better, more appropriate appreciation for each other. So thinking about how you can appreciate yourself too. So whether you're in a relationship or you're not, or your relationships are primarily friends or professional relationships, you can still get the kind of appreciation that you need by focusing on yourself. So think about how you can get creative with yours. So for me, it's quality time. And I start to feel burnt out if I haven't spent quality time with myself and really given myself space of unscheduled time to do whatever I want. So if you're a words of appreciation person, maybe that's writing yourself a letter or saying some kind of positive affirmation in the morning about how awesome you are. That's going to feel really, really good to you. If you're a quality time person like me, take yourself out to lunch, do some journaling, listen to yourself, ask yourself some questions, and make sure that you're on track for your goals. Spend a day that you really would enjoy. If you're a gifts person, maybe treat yourself to something that you've been wanting. If you're an acts of service person, cook yourself a nice dinner or a dessert that you really love, and then sit down and enjoy it. Or hire somebody to help you out, to give yourself some free time. Buy yourself some service. And if you're a physical touch person, you could book a massage or give yourself a mani-pedi or facial. Remember to make deposits in your own bank account as well to build up your self-worth and confidence so that you can show up as your best self to your patients and to your coworkers.